Tonight, we go California dreaming as the Mystic Racing League looks to go full throttle around California. This evening, it's the fourth race of the 2025 season, the SOFA News 200. Good evening, everyone, and welcome to iRacing's virtual California Speedway for VSPEED's coverage of the MRL. I'm Justin Prince. Alongside the booth for tonight's coverage is Bradley Cooper as we get set to go racing here from California. Tonight should be multi-groove racing, multiple chances for passes, and a race under the lights here, Bradley. It should be a fun night.
Absolutely. This is one of my favorite tracks on the surface, or on the service. And as far as racing multi-groove, there's probably one preferred line. There's plenty of ways to pass a car when you come out of these corners, go into the entries. A lot of ways to work guys over and maybe push them down the front straightaway. You're going to see some drafting here, especially in the early part of the run.
100 laps going to be your distance for tonight as these drivers get themselves ready to go. Let's take a look at the race analysis before we get to how we'll set things up tonight. Remember, the stages this evening are laps 30 and 60. Only 2 tire sets available in the pits, Bradley. That's going to make it extremely difficult on the strategy, especially at a track known for tire wear. And mind you, this is also going to be a night where fuel's going to be a factor because the fuel mileage, only 50%. Some of these drivers not going to be able to make it the full 30 laps on a distance on gas.
On a track that's notorious for becoming a fuel mileage race, it's absolutely going to be a factor when you take half the fuel tank, throw on these cars. But I mean, let's take them trackside. Let's get that grid up on the screen.
Let's take a look at how they'll start here tonight as drivers currently getting an extra pace lap. Chris Mefford will start on the pole. He'll start alongside Evan Janik. Then, row number 2 tonight, that's going to be Isaac Brock. He's set a time just within a tenth the pole time. John Ullman will start in 4th. Row number 3, Caleb Hunt will start in the next row in the 78 machine. Then it's Rayshawn Winkfield in 6th. 7th spot goes to one of the Ancient World Gaming entries, Isaac Wilson, who just got an EOL penalty, and Alex Pollock in 8th. Brady at your top 10, keep an eye on the number 7, Bobby Rafferty, and Anthony Trippi, his teammate, will start in 10th, Bradley.
Andrew Allen will start in 11th. Adam Holston will start in 12th. Joshua Gillen in 13th position. Andrew Shobe in 14th. You go back to row number 8. It's Christian Barnes. Stephen McComas will start in the 16th spot. 17th goes to Aubrey Lord. Jared Knopfschneider in 18th position. Rounding out your top 20, Zach White and Joshua Thornton.
Still a few more rows of cars. Brett Wren scheduled to start 21st tonight. He'll start alongside Harold Tucker III during the qualifying order. Then Aaron Espy alongside Tony Brennan in the next row. Second to last row, David Moyer starts back in 25th alongside David Wallace. And then it is Reggie Kime, the last driver to set a time. Brandon Willard did not set a time in qualifying, despite being 5th fastest in final practice. He'll start at the tail end of the field. Let's look top to bottom at the running order here tonight. Bradley, what are your keys to success if you want to do well here in California?
You got to learn how to back up those corners, not get too focused on the car in front of you. You can very easily draft back up to that car, hang with them. You don't have to beat them on raw pace. You just have to outlast them on tires and fuel. Don't get too caught up in the guys around you.
Glad to have you with us here on VSPEED for tonight's coverage of the Mystic Racing League. It is the SOFA News 200. Chris Mefford set things up in control. Evan Janik alongside. Green flag is that we're underway from California. First lap, Medford able to get a small buffer, but Isaac Brock from the third starting position looking to wind things up to get alongside. Able to use the outside, looking like he's going to try and rim ride it, while preferring the bottom is Medford up front.
I'm really surprised. You actually see the 21 brush the wall there, Brock, that these guys are electing. That will be faster initially, but you're going to burn those tires up a lot sooner if you run that outside line like that.
Going to have to be very careful, to say the very least, as the night goes on here. See how careful these drivers end up fully being when it comes to this style of racing. Still, Brock, with that line, does build up a lot of momentum. It is worth noting he's alongside for the race lead. How much momentum you carry off the corner down the straightaway. We'll see how effective that becomes later on, but Janik is able to get at least side by side.
Yeah, you will. You'll carry a lot of speed, but like I said, it's going to burn those tires up a lot sooner. He's going to choose the outside again here through 3 and 4. You got to wonder what that's going to look like, 10, 12 laps into this run. I would venture to say that probably for Isaac Brock in the 21, he's going to end up falling back here. Drafting not as much of a factor when you choose that different line, but we've got 2-3 wide back here for the 10th spot.
You know who's moved up from that 10th? That green number 29. Who's already up on that outside. He's gone from 20th spot to get up to 8th. Thornton not being patient in the Combat Warriors Outdoors machine. He's one of the fastest cars on the track right now.
Look at the lap times. He's about a 10th faster than the guys in front of him. You got to wonder, again, are you burning your stuff up? These guys get really caught up in the guys around them, trying to get maybe 1 or 2 positions. It's rather difficult here because it's so easy to get by or get on the inside or the outside of each other. You end up driving the cars around you. And this racetrack, it's really easy to go fast, but it's not easy to save your stuff.
Yeah, there is a chance he slips back with how hard he may be pushing it right now. He does have to work hard to keep up with the draft. Once you lose that main draft, it's hard to keep up here. It's John Ullman fighting up the road with Caleb Hunt for reference right now for the 5th position. Looking in that main pack still, Andrew Allen. Amongst those going defensive, he's now up from 11th to 3rd. Also somebody on the move. Chevy guy doing well so far.
Started back in 11th and very quickly picking up positions, up 8 spots. You can see 13 gained for the 29, 8 positions gained for the 96. It's kind of that opposite and equal reaction. If you're fast on the short run, you're kind of praying that this race has a lot of cautions. It's going to keep you on those fresh tires. However, we're limited on tire sets. You got to plan accordingly to that as well. 3 tire sets total here. And with the stages coming at lap 30 and lap 60, you probably want to make those last all the way through that run. I don't foresee anybody taking fuel only on this stage break. But if we have a caution early, I'll look for Isaac Brock or maybe Andrew Allen to just skip pit road entirely and try to stay out there, take the lead over, as you see for the 21.
Isaac Brock able to get the edge down the back straight away. Brock has got himself in position to maybe take some lead laps here at least. But the way things are looking, side drafting this time, Brock gets the lead at the stripe this time around over the 46. It took some time, but he's able to get the edge, at least to get the lead at the stripe. A little bit more slower right now is Medford.
And Allen following that same lineup here. Medford a little bit off there on the exit. I don't know if he'll close the door. He will, and they'll go to the inside for Allen. Pass for 2nd spot, down to the bottom. You build that momentum on these straightaways here, JP, but when you have that run like that, you're forced to run a line that you're not used to. Andrew Allen did a phenomenal job, but look at the run he gets off the corner. He has to go up there and put a block on the outside for 2 different cars here.
It's like that from 1st back to 4th is Medford. As jumping up to second is Janik with that slide to the bottom this time. Some great battling so far here from iRacing's Virtual Auto Club Speedway here in Fontana, California. Now they continue to slaughter around. This was the expectation tonight. Lots of lane changes, lots of momentum-based drafting, and now Janik's now with the race lead as you take a look at some of those in the mid-pack.
Yeah, I hate to jump away from this, but we got guys outside the top 10 right now fighting amongst themselves. You've got Rafferty just in front of all this. He was battling with Aubrey Lord, and then you had Alex Polak and Jared Knopfschneider. They were side by side. A lot of 2x2 throughout this field. You go back up front, though. I think it's just musical chairs here for the lead.
It's looking like that now. Now going back to the high line. Janik this time trying to hold serve. It's getting a bit aggressive behind once again. Caleb Hunt seems to be doing a solid job at the bottom of the racetrack as well in this group. Trying to find a way around for the 4th position.
And they'll go back and forth like this as long as that draft is there, as long as they have the tail end of that car in front of them. It's when you lose that draft. And if we stay green all the way to the stage, it's kind of going to reset everybody to get back in the same mindset. If we go back to the classic style of racing that NASCAR used to have, and these races went green all the way through, you can actually pull away from drivers, and you can see the breakaway between 1st to 5th position with Caleb Hunt there at the tail end. They're 1.5 seconds ahead of that 6th place car of John Ullman.
Kind of showcases just how efficient and how precise those drivers up front are so far. Thornton still trying to keep his progression up at least. For comparison, running 40 flats is running faster than the race leader in that second group. You still see some of the battling going on. There's the look at the 29 and the 34. Josh Thornton hasn't slowed down. He's just having the problem of how is he going to close up such a big gap. He's also got Adam Holston with him.
I can tell you how this gap's going to get closed. These guys up in the top 5 have been driving the doors off these things. They're probably going to get reeled back in. If you've been saving any of your stuff right now, you're probably running about this 7th to 12th position. You might have long run pace, and by lap 25, you'll be back in the hunt here.
For the stage, end of lap 30. Was expecting bigger things from Bobby Rafferty, known more for his speed on the short tracks, but was kind of expecting him to be towards the front. He has stayed stagnant in the 9th position.
And I don't think I'm worried about it right now. I'd be more worried about it when that last stage comes. If they're this far behind when there's only, 40 laps to go, then yeah, I'd probably start to hit the panic button. But right now, this is just one of those, you're trying to keep yourself in clean air. You're trying to save what you can. Dial this car back a little bit. There's no harm in sitting here in the top 10. You're within striking distance when we get that stage caution.
So there are drivers in this group, by the way. Aubrey Lord has gone 17 to 11th. Knob Snyder from 18 to 12th. Harold Tucker the third in one of the Sofa News machines. Also doing good. By the way, quick shout out to the sponsor once again tonight, Sofa News, dedicated to being your go-to source for engaging and thought-provoking stories for the Mystic Racing League. Their mission is to provide insightful news that captures interest, encourages discussions, navigating the fine line between fact and fiction. We aspire to be a leading voice in Mystic Racing's media landscape, focusing on bold reporting, valuable insights that foster conversation. At Sofa News, we are passionate to keep you both informed and entertained with every article we share, whether it's the latest updates, surprising revelations, or diverse opinions that stimulate thoughtful debate. We invite you to join this enlightening journey through the stories that truly matter. So far, that's 79. Alonso's running in the middle of the racetrack at the time being in 16th position. And what has become a hornet's nest is Anthony Trippi. Alonso's who have picked up some spots now in the past little bit here.
I think for now it's more of the attrition. These tires starting to wear out. You can see the second group starting to catch back up. It's down to 1 second flat here for the 29 of Joshua Thornton. 6th position, slowly reels him in. You have Caleb Hunt on the tail end of this group. I haven't seen a lot of side-by-side, and it's Evan Janik who really got the last word here. After all that shuffling for the lead, the 71 has figured out how to kind of pull away a little bit here.
Yeah, great racing so far for him so far tonight. Choosing the line successfully, but also been able to play some good defense at the times when he's needed it most. Already past halfway in the stage so far, by the way. Let's take a look at the second grouping. This still involving battling, including Lord in the blue and green machine. And so far, that's the main thing that's going to become a question mark is later on in this run, or in the second stage, a lot of these drivers are going to be much slower on tire wear. The fall off so far for these drivers in these runs. Oh, hold on, we got a call for a pit stop. The 79 just called for a pit stop on the radio. It looks like people may be thinking of pit road here.
Well, I mean, 50% fuel, that would make a little bit of sense. I think they're going to be just shy of that stage, and that might be by design. So, down pit road here, very conservative, but you don't want a speeding penalty. That'll set you back even worse. Earl Tucker, down pit road.
Aaron Espy has just spotted on pit road entry into the wall. He was amongst those in the back that elected to come in. No caution, we stay green. David Moyer, Joshua Gillen amongst those in. More calls for the race leaders this time, as let's see what happened here.
I think he just wheel hops, locks it up, downshift. He actually sent that car sideways and a little tag with the wall. And we talked about it there a little bit briefly at the pre-race, but they do have a fast repair. It'd be a shame to burn it this early. But if you're Aaron Esp, you probably don't want to use it. You might have to.
Isaac Brock is in, so the leaders are starting to peel their way down. A couple others have also come down this time, including Andrew Allen, as well as Joshua Thornton. So, as to be expected, though, in these pit stops, fuel only is the name of the game. These drivers are going to have to be very careful on their pit exits with the tire spin.
Yeah, old tires, that's going to be a factor. And you put these things through a heat cycle or two, they get slicker and slicker every time you're on the throttle, especially when you're coming from just dead zero out of the pit stall off the apron. I'll have to be rather careful. We haven't seen a caution yet, but this might be the time for it if it's going to happen.
You're only getting to about 20 laps here. Looks like that's going to make things interesting for later on tonight. Some of the leaders still on track. Memford, Holston, Alonso still on track. You still have lap traffic now with Isaac Brock and Andrew Allen cycling right next to the leader. That's how big it is in terms of the fuel difference right now, where even with the pit stop, they're still a lap down, but because they can't take tires right now with the limited tire sets, they can't make the pass to get the lead lap back for now.
Yeah, they're on even tires, and if they were a little bit off pace to start, that's going to be the same issue that they're going to have. 21 was kind of one of those cars that we saw battle for the lead there earlier and maybe use it as step up. You got to think long term. Looks like maybe the 46 in Medford, nope, not this time by. You got to wonder if he can stretch it out all the way to the end of this stage at lap 30.
No, it's not that, because the 46 just said he's pitting this time by. Holston just indicated on the radio as well. You know who's really cycling ahead of everybody else in all this, though? The 71 is a corner ahead of everybody else from those who have pitted in the main pack. He planned this out perfectly on the top off.
He was on and off pit road quickly as well. And that's another factor that you could pick up 2 or 3 seconds easily just with your pit road entry and exit. You look at the time down the box, it was 36.8. I'm hunting pretty hard for anybody else that got in and out of the stall that fast. The closest to him is a 37.1, and that's with Winkfield, but he's all the way back at 18th right now.
Yes, indeed.
Oh, we got some black flag penalties here. Looks like Christian Barnes, Stephen McComas, black flag penalty speeding on the entry to pit road.
That's going to hurt their chances. 40-second stop and holds for them. It's going to be a long while for their service as Trippy comes on in. They'll come in no problem on the entry. It is worth noting Mefford is already coming off pit road. Where will he cycle? How about in front of the 71? Bobby Rafferty with a huge jump in pit road as well.
That's actually pretty surprising to me, and almost some contact here. The 7, Rafferty shut the door into the entry at 3. The 71 forced his way in there. That was a close call there on the entry at turn 3. I thought for sure they were going to make contact.
Some calls on the radio that Rafferty didn't realize the 71 was going to be there. And, well, he lets him on go in that circumstance. Net P3, not bad at all on the pit entry. But Mefford planned this out the best he has gone.
Yeah, it was a great job on and off the lane. 36.1. He won that battle by 7/10. He actually won it by about 5/10 there in the box as well. Just a little bit quicker on and off pit road, and that translates to almost a full second, just a little over a full second on the racetrack. We're talking about, you know, fractions of a second just in and out. Your reaction time to get down pit road. If Chris Mefford can do that again in stage 2, I think he'll have no problem leading this race.
It should be good sailing for him for now, with especially with the battle focusing now on second spot more than anything else. Less than 5 laps to go, coming to 4 to go in the stage. Mefford looking for a playoff point if he can keep things going. It's worth noting there's some gear shifting also going on with the 71. So these drivers are having to play around with the gearing a little bit to maximize their acceleration. Janik is trying to shift a little bit in the corners.
And that'll help set the nose, put that car down to the bottom of the racetrack. It's not frowned upon, especially in this next-gen car. Wouldn't want to try doing a downshift in anything else, but this car, with the way it's geared, you got that top end. 5th gear is really kind of like that cruise control down the backstretch, and then you hit 4th gear to keep the RPMs up.
Pit road already closed as they're getting ahead of the game here. All that's while the fight still remains. Rafferty on the bottom, all while 3 wide in the heart of the field. Edge of the top 10, getting aggressive. Thornton nearly slams into the back of a car. That allows the run for Wilson.
I want to say that was the 93 or maybe the 21 of Isaac Brock that got up into the wall there on the exit, and a couple cars followed him. They're going to go 3 wide again here through the exit of 4. A 34 down on the bottom of John Ullman. He actually gets the short end of the stick there on the exit, and he's going to get put 3 wide again down the front stretch.
Pit road officially now closed. Some very big, aggressive defensive maneuvers right now. Looking for Ullman. He's trying to get a move on Andrew Allen. Thornton bump drafting at California.
Absolutely what you want to see down that backstretch. If you got a team player trying to get you clear of that driver into the entry at 3, it didn't work that time. It looks like the 29 is going to go back to it here. Try to get that 96 past. This is the stage lap.
Final lap in stage 1. Thornton slammed the wall, now 3 laps in a row. He wall righted his way side by side. Allen having to back out of it. Uman keeping alongside. Some aggressive racing here to end the stage. Oh, that's wild. Janik closed up the gap to under 5 car lengths. However, Chris Metford will take the stage. Top 5 confirmed this season to be scoring stage points. That top 5, Chris Metford, Evan Janik, Bobby Rafferty, Adam Holston, and Isaac Wilson. Your stage winner, Chris Metford.
Congrats to Chris Mefford. It kind of looked like it was all for naught there on the start of that, but you get on and off pit road that clean. Hopefully he can duplicate that for the next stage. That's what you want to see out of a driver. Just comes up here and shows them that I don't have to beat you on raw pace. I'll get out ahead of you after pit stops.
Rest of your top 10 for those curious: Isaac Brock, Josh Thornton, John Uman, Andrew Allen, Rayshawn Wingfield. A very clean and very exciting first stage. And now it becomes the question on who takes the risk on tires here and who elects to just take fuel only to make sure they're in position for the one stopper for stage 2.
Well, I'm definitely taking tires on this. This is the money stop, really. And if you can get maybe 5 or 6 positions, if you're, Isaac Wilson, some of these guys that were really fast in the short run but couldn't show that long run speed because they were trying to pass so many cars. I think right here, if you can get on and off pit road cleanly, don't miss your box, and pick up a couple positions, compete for that lead a little earlier, it might pay off in the long run.
We'll see if we see a lot of fuel onlys. Just about everybody did fuel only. Aaron Espy, I believe, may have been the only one with tires during the last cycle after his slide. So no problems on pit entry to be expected here under caution. 25 cars are still in the lead lap. Christian Barnes got the lucky dogs. Stephen McComas and Aubrey Lord were both lapped during the cycle, was where they came out of pit road. And no problems on pit entry. Metford onto the box. Oh, and he is taking tires. A lot of people are taking tires as you predicted. So others just topping off. Wilson, Bobby Rafferty, Joshua Gillen, Rayshawn Wingfield, the first 4. Then Metford did elect to take 4 tires.
Isaac Wilson, that's a name we're familiar with here on VSPEED. I think I've had a few shows with that name in there. Gutsy call, though, to take a right sides only on this stop, I believe.
No tires, in fact.
No
he
tires?
topped off.
Wow. I mean, well, you save him in the back burner there. You got him in your back pocket for the later in this race if we do have a caution, but Auto Club is notorious for going green, so I don't know.
Whose is this time by? That's the call of the radio. So we are expecting drivers to choose their lanes here. So most of the field did take a tire set, and oh boy, Wilson is coming in. Also coming in is Gillen, Wingfield, Metford, Janik. It looks like some people may think they may be able to top off and maybe stretch the gas here.
Well, if you could stretch that run, I don't know if they can make it all the way to lap 60. I know with the stage being open here, they are ticking away these laps, so this stage is going to be a little bit shorter compared to the first one. Going to be about, what do we got here? 25 laps, I think, roughly.
Yeah, it's going to be close. It's going to be close. It's about a 26-lap run in stage 2 if it stays green. And most of these drivers taking the track position. So Bobby Rafferty He's into the control spot. Isaac Brock alongside. John Uman and Adam Holston, row 2. Cale Punt, Josh Thornton, row 3. Alex Pollock and Andrew Shope, row 4. Row 5, David Moyer. That will also include Zach White, believe, in that spot. So a lot of people getting set to go on fresh boots. And I'm keeping an eye on tire spin here, Bradley. Bobby's going to see a lot of it possibly in this restart zone.
Absolutely. This is the heat cycle that these tires were not prepared for. He just went from hot back to cold. Let's see if he can hold on to it.
Green flag is out. No major slides. Now is the question, where does he go as the Freshies get lined up behind him?
I don't think it's going to take long here for these guys to get by him. He might get a couple corners, but I don't know if he'll hold on to the lead.
Brock's now building up the run as he shifts his way to the gears. Now this is going to be the true sign on the speed. Watch right here. Bradley's got decent stick, but Brock much quicker, lifting the top of the racetrack. Brock to the race lead.
Yeah. Oh, trouble. 29.
Oh, into the grass. Uman, Thornton spinning and sliding. Thornton the wrong way around to the grass. Uman sliding in the wall. No caution. We stay green as they try and get out of the green stuff. Able to get back rolling, but my goodness, no caution.
The entire field that went past him there.
Just came down.
Yeah. He almost went over.
Very lucky he didn't flip that car in the grass. But he's
a meatball
still
here for Thornton. Something's going on. He's got a black flag.
You know what it is? You know where there's that pit exit cone? He went to the left side of the pit exit cone, the green cone, and that technically counts as an unsafe pit exit. They have cleared it.
Yeah, they cleared it for him. That's why you have a race steward for things like that, the unforeseeable. That's probably for best. It wasn't something that he could really, measure or do anything about. He got sent to the grass, and it's bad enough that he's lost 20 plus positions here. So good on the race steward for clearing that.
So Brock is starting to build a buffer. Up to second is Alex Pollock, though. The 92 is flying. Good job so far off the restart. He's been looking very solid since coming off that restart. Never mind, he just backed hard off the gas.
Ooh, he got tight there. I think he got really tight. Maybe back to the throttle a little too soon.
Yeah, having to get way out of it there. Was about to say, highest point of his race, now having to reset. Still keeping calm with his tomato collection in the background. Has all the sponsors basically on his 92 X2 Designs machine in that background on that stand. And right now, he's
got
back
his hands
into the
full.
business.
He's got all the sponsors in the background right now trying to get around him.
Yeah, he's got Holston lined up, the Holston Concrete Machine, David Moyer. You also have trying to make some moves, Jared Knopsnyder on the bottom of the racetrack. Knopsnyder, in fact, doing great off this restart too, looking for 7th.
And again, this goes back to what I was talking about earlier. If you can run that bottom, it looked like it worked out for that stage win, just saving the tires. And now these guys are playing the other side of that strategy and topping off. You had a few cars come back down pit road with Isaac Wilson and a few others coming in. They're back in the 18th position right now. But this could play dividends for the long run. If they don't have to come down pit road before stage 2, I would say probably 18th, 19th position. They're going to be the top spots to finish this thing out.
Definitely going to be very interesting to see that. Heard of it happening a lot before. Remember with the Coke Series a couple years ago, drivers were trying to save like Matt to go 50 laps before. And nearly worked out for a couple drivers. Looking at the mess in front, Brett Wren, you're looking on screen, your winner from earlier in the season from FSR. He ran in the back most of stage one. He's trying to move a little bit forward in stage two.
Actually, have another on board with this driver as well. I want to venture to say that's a Tony Stewart shirt. Can't quite tell. But he does have the 14. The 24, though, gets a pass on the inside. Looks like he's going to gain 3 spots there. And completes the pass. He's going to get out ahead of this mess behind him.
Yeah, he's trying to rip really hard away on speed.
Contact back there. I think that was David Moyer. Yeah, 47.
Not going great for Moyer now all of a sudden. We keep going. Moyer bounced off the side of, I think, Reggie Kime. Yeah, Reggie Kime bounced off him.
It's just the car getting tight there on the inside. These guys want to ride this thing out on the momentum, but you get back to that throttle too soon. And I think for the 9 of Kime, he probably has a little bit better tires than these guys. You see him race through 2 or 3 of the cars a corner. I think he's done a better job of being patient, but now he's kind of feeling like these guys in front of him are slower. I got to go now.
Reggie Kime now up to a race high 11th. Started this race originally back in 27th starting spot. Someone with a lot of wins at Daytona coming into this season here now at iRacing, and now seems to be getting a grip of things as the race goes on, getting better and better in that 9. Up front, Andrew Allen trying to chomp away at Brock's gap. Brock had got a decent buffer. The draft pulling everyone back.
Allen's been solid here. I think he's probably a top 5 car today, the way he's been driving right now. And I see the pajamas there. He's relaxed at the very least here, JP.
Yeah, keeping loose. The car hasn't been loose at the very least. He's been really keeping that stable as the nights progressed. Seems to be keeping himself up on the wheel, though. You see a lot of wheel shake.
Yeah. That's a lot of correcting and trying to, you do those micro corrections. You're actually hunting for where that car is going to turn. And because these are long sweeping corners, you go on the gyro cam, you can see it even in, the real feel of the car in the sim. He's constantly hunting for where he can get back to that throttle, where the car is going to step out. And JP, we've talked a lot here on VSPEED about how these next-gen cars don't give you a lot of input. You have to check it with the wheel. You always have to give it an input. If you're not giving an input, if you're not being active, that's activity. Sideways.
Caleb Hunt gets into the side and turns around Andrew Allen. Caution flag is out. Allen able to avoid significant damage or significant spin. And we're under yellow.
That's not the input that we were checking for.
Yeah, you see him grabbing that stuff now. That's going to push him way down the order to 13th with a little bit of damage. And, well, there goes the fuel strategy possibly. Let's take a look.
The 78 just pushed up the racetrack there, and we saw it earlier with the 9 that had a little door check. That's the worst case scenario, is that you don't check the door, you check the left rear of the guy to your outside. You can kind of use a car to your advantage, but if you're too far behind him, you're going to turn him.
There we because that spin, Allen loses all those spots that he had picked up early on in this one.
That's heavy contact there. Trying to go on board here with the 78. Say we get the gyro camera, you can see he's putting left wheel. It's not that he steered towards this car. This car's just pushing up.
That puts us under our caution, our first for incident tonight. A few people did stay out and are clutching coasting. Adam Holston, Alex Pollock, Isaac Wilson, and a few others. And as we expect, a lot of top-offs for those who are coming in and out of pit road as they complete service here and get themselves to the point where they are comfortable to get to the end of the stage.
Well, I mean, Isaac Brock, I think, is in the most comfortable position here. He's in 7th spot now after these pit stops. Joshua Gillen will be at the end of this group that did not come down pit road. I don't know. I really like the strategy initially for guys like Isaac Wilson and Wakefield. I don't know that it's going to work out here, though, now that these guys have come in and topped off. You got a few guys that even elected to take 2 tires deeper in this field, and that might pay off here. We still have about 10 laps to go in the stage.
By the way, EOL penalty going to car 78, Caleb Hunt, as a result of the cause of caution. So he will have to drop to the very tail. He had been towards the front before that point, obviously.
Yeah, he was running up there in the top 3. This is going to set him back quite a ways. Still a lot of racing left to be done. We have that stage. You can try to play the flip side of the strategy, but midway through the race is not where you want a penalty.
So up front, Adam Holston is getting in position to control the field for the restart, by the way. Isaac Wilson was the first to choose the top. You see the drivers at the back of the field getting set up. An 11-lap shootout. Just about getting all set to go here on VSPEED. Your thoughts on the action so far, as we're actually just about halfway to the race.
It's been great. I mean, these guys are racing hard. I would venture to say that the line is going to start to migrate towards that outside. I think if you were comfortable running up there near the wall, that's probably where you want to be for the second half of this race. And with this short little stint, you can absolutely go up here and win this stage for running that high side.
Let's find out how this restart's going to go for these drivers. So far, a couple cautions, 1 stage winner. We're about to get 2 of those stage winners pretty soon. A few minutes' time. Green, green, green. Good start for Holston. And the battle is on up front as Wilson tries to hold on to second.
We're going to go 3 wide into 1. Isaac Wilson, who set back on that strategy, he's going to try to go up here and snag away this lead. That's probably, car in the wall back there. Couple cars in the wall. I want to say that was the 93 that got a piece of it.
Able to keep going though, although he lost a lot of spots from that situation. Janix jumped up a lot of spots, already going for some moves. Tony Brennan as well. Here's a look up front. Wingfield working with Brock, all while Holston tries to hold on for 10 more circuits in the stage.
This is where I said that high line would come into play. And you see the 23 of Wingfield, the 21 of Brock. They are not shy to go up there. Brock was almost in the wall. He almost rode a safer barrier around the exit of 3, or out of 2. Now he's going to go up there again, trying to keep some clean air on the front of this car. He's got the speed. Big run in the middle.
3 wide as they go up front. 3 wide for the race lead, 4 wide for a split second. Janik going all the way to the bottom of the racetrack to lead that lap, driving right around the 23 and driving to the point.
I tell you, Janik was one of those cars we thought on that first stage was going to come out and cycle ahead. It was a surprise that Medford did it a little bit quicker, especially with how late he pitted compared to the 71. I think now this is the redemption for Evan Janik.
And he get himself a stage win here. Still coming up to 8 laps to go in the stage. Push down for Holston from Brock as some of these drivers try and plot and plan things. And it's going to be the tough thing. If people prefer the top, it's going to be hard to build up runs to be able to make passes here. Brock pushing Holston into the wall.
Briefly there, we're not quite at the right camera angle. I'm going to go back about 10 seconds here and look at this. This is off the exit of turn 2. Just got tight again, and that's minor. That was minor. It could have been a lot worse.
Could have been a lot worse for the 8, absolutely, but it did cost them a lot of time. As a result, half a second. Janik, like we've seen earlier for the leader, able to get a good buffer in the midst of this short one. Rafferty and all this, the fall off, interestingly enough, hasn't been drastic, like a 2 or 3 second fall off. It's been more like a half a second between the tires. Rafferty's been doing a good job on the older rubber to keep in the top 10.
Yeah, he's holding on, but he has a lot of hungry hippos behind him. These guys are all over the place trying to figure out the run. 63 tagged the wall there. Tony Brennan. Isaac Wilson is falling off a little bit as well. These guys that stayed out, it's probably going to pay off on the flip side. If we get a caution there in that last stage of the race, these guys can come down, you know, with 15, 20 to go. I'm speaking hypotheticals, and they'll have 4 fresh tires, and that's where you'll really see that fall off. It's not as dramatic here with that short stint of about 20 laps, but it'll be super dramatic if they get 25, 30 laps. And there's going to be another pit stop here in the final stage of the race. They cannot make it to the end.
Oh, some contact. A slip and a slide.
Oh.
Knobsdottir spinning it to the inside. Caution flag is out. He brings David Wallace down into the wall with him as Wallace slips back into the track. Knobsdottir stays in the grass.
I think this will do it for the stage. I'm not 100% on that, but I think Evan Janik just got it.
It's going to be close.
It's going to be close here.
Maybe a 1-lapper. See once again what the situation is going to be here.
I mean, that's pretty tight on the window. I think these guys are going to have to cycle pits, and it's going to go past lap 60.
Race control is still discussing it. Confirmed, this is stage 2. Confirmed, this is stage 2. Evan Janik wins the second stage. Adam Holston second. Isaac Brock in third. Joshua Thornton and Andrew Job gets the top 5 for stage 2, Bradley.
Yeah, it was right at the mark, and if you were guys like Adam Holston or Isaac Brock that probably had the momentum building up here for these last 3 or 4 laps, you're probably upset, but you saw the contact back there. We'll try to get a replay with that. Try to go back, and it was I believe the 96 that went for the ride. No, it was
08.
98. 08? 08.
08.
Okay.
There is the 08. Significant damage for him. And this was just bad luck in terms of Wallace's case after the 82 had a lot of bad luck. Or a bad wobbling.
to be good going down the front stretch where you're going to see this. And they're 3 wide here. 4 wide almost. He's still trying to gather that car up. He weaved it back and forth for probably 800 feet before it snapped free. Just nowhere to go for the 08.
The bright side is he's got a faster pair available. But you obviously want to keep it just in case. Just falls right in his lap.
Sometimes, man, it's the circumstances. You can't predict it. But you saw that car back and forth a lot there through the front stretch. I don't know.
So we're under caution once again here on VSPEED. Stage 2, again called complete. Take a step aside when we come back. We'll see pit stops pretty soon. Again, under caution from California. Here for the Mystic Racing League, the Sofa News 200 continues after this.
Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Go head-to-head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series. In officially licensed cars, engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel. Visit iRacing.com.
Welcome back to tonight's coverage of the Sofa News 200 as the Mystic Racing League continues to race from iRacing's virtual NextGen California. Justin Prince, Bradley Cooper with you as drivers now take the stage points. There is a slight alteration. Isaac Brock, technical issue, is out of the race. He ended up having a connection issue. Bobby Rafferty takes a top 5 spot instead as Janik again, takes the end of stage 2 officially, Bradley.
Yeah, and that was a little bit shortened there, but Janik had quite a cushion. It's unfortunate there for Isaac Brock. He was one of those top 5 cars, and he probably had a chance to go up there and get at least in contention for that stage win. It's rather unfortunate there for the 21. Hopefully he can get back into this session before we go back green.
Meanwhile, Joshua Gill at Hole P is okay. Just received word that he has been dealing with some bleeding nose issues in the 10 car as the race has gone on. So he has been having a bit of a day so far. He said that in our comment section, watching along with the viewers tonight. He is still in the car, but apparently he has been having some blood issues involving the nose.
I've been a part of that. It's that time of year, JP. It's really dry outside. It doesn't surprise me. I haven't had it happen in a while, but I think I'm, one moment from going outside. It's just 8 degrees for the high temperature a couple days ago. I don't know what it's like in your neck of the woods, but for me, man, this is unseasonable. I don't like the cold, and I know that having that dry air like that is not good for you.
Pit stop time, as this should get drivers another position to be able to go a one-stopper here. Should see some very varying strategies here. Rafferty is taking tires here. Janik is not, so we're going to see some variations of speed here. As some of these drivers push the envelope, others out. Look at that jump, Thornton, able to get the jump in pit road.
Just barely over Janik there. Talking about probably a couple thousandths of a second across that.
Yeah, he had a pit stop almost 2 seconds quicker. Just got the edge over the 71 to take control. And remember, he took tires under one of the previous caution flags because he had gotten spun around and had dropped to the very tail end of the field with no caution.
Well, I can tell you this, Janik can even go back there to the 46. He's a little bit deeper in this field, but Chris Medford, some of these guys that, are playing that mixed strategy. Even with the cautions in this race, I don't think we've thrown it too far off of the strategy. We've still reset the field. Everyone's kind of on a level playing field for these last 40 laps or so. The extension here with the stage being cut short does help a little bit if you're trying to play that long game, but it's not too far off. You're still going to have to come down pit road. It's just going to change the lap that you have to do it.
EOL's this caution for the 08, the 23, and the 82 for entering the pit road when it was closed before the end of the stage. Those drivers towards the back regardless already. So this should be a fun final stretch. Race is in the driver's hands is the call over the radio at this point from race control. We'll see if they maintain the calmness we've seen for the most part, Bradley, or if this intensity level picks up that ever much more and starts to build things up.
I think the intensity is ready to go. This is kind of like one of those super speedway races. And at this point, you're going to see guys make some dramatic moves. They're going to get up front and try to pull away from this field.
So again, to reset your top 5 rows, Thornton and Janik. Then you have Brennan and Tucker, Uman and Moyer, Holston and Willard. Then Rafferty and Anthony Trippi. Those are the top 10 drivers at the moment. The field comes up to the restart zone. First time tonight, the leader's chosen the outside. Green flag and early launch. Off and away is Thornton. Good restart for the control car. 4-5 car lanes. He elects to stay top line, though. That opens the door for Janik to just take away the lead if he can clear. No, he can't.
He does not clear, but I can tell you back here, about 5th position, you've got a car that's been on the hunt all night long. He's up 20 spots. It's a big flip-flop here for this field. You've got 19 and 20 spots gained for 6 out of the top 10 drivers here. A lot of big gainers. Brandon Willard, we're looking here with Tony Brennan.
Caution.
Oh, we got a yellow. It looks like Wilson's involved.
We're under yellow. 3 different cars sliding. Wilson had been in the top 10. And we're under yellow. Aubrey Lord coming out of the grass. A couple others also involved in this one as we're under caution.
I think Aubrey Lord got a piece of that after the fact. He wasn't part of the initial incident. Isaac Wilson was actually part of the actual wreck that brought out the yellow. I'm interested to see what happened there to Aubrey Lord that got him sent to the grass.
Yeah, the Lord part was under caution already. We'll see what happened here. Oh, somebody actually bounced off the 93. Was that Wallace again?
It might have been Aubrey Lord. I'm gonna have to back this up a little bit further. This wreck went on for probably a good 20 seconds. There's the contact that sent Lord around. The 08, yeah, was involved again.
Oh, he brought McComas with him.
These guys were loose. Wow. He locked it down. Ah, the 08 just couldn't miss it.
We also had Alex Pollock around in that same incident as well, believe. So something happened to the 92 in a separate incident as well at the back of that pack that hit the back of the Lord, if we can take a look at that as well.
And we're trying to back this up. You said it was a 92 at Polak.
Yeah. But this is originally going to be where the 72 was involved, right there on this bobble.
The 96 is around. There's 3 separate incidents here.
So apologies on the radio already as a result of some of the contact. But Wallace, significant damage. Andrew Allen just picked up a black flag for his pit situation here. So expecting one to go and choose already this upcoming time by the way. What a good restart for Thornton, though. He kept the line good on the outside. Looks to be a threat for the race lead. We've seen him be a threat to close up spots in stage 1.
I mean, a lot of these guys, it's kind of a 180 from what we saw earlier in this race. You've got a variety of different cars that maybe were saving the strategizing to go all the way to the end of this race. We've kind of thrown a wrench in things with how many cautions here. But I think right now, where it sits, we're still on that for one more pit stop to the end. I wouldn't go all out here just yet.
Once again, to reset the top 10. Thornton, Tucker the third. Then you also have Janik and Brennan. Then you have Rafferty and Ullman. You have Moyer and Holston, Lord and Trippy amongst your top 10 cars or so here for this upcoming restart. And a lot more people are choosing the outside than choosing the bottom here, Bradley.
Well, you've seen the high line has worked. I think this is probably where I want to be. That outside line has migrated throughout this race. I think the tires will hold up. I haven't seen anything otherwise. 29 has got out to a good start on this last restart. Let's see if he can do it again.
Let's find out. Green flag is out. Back underway. Still more than 30 laps to work with. Still a one-stopper on gas. We'll see how the field handles itself after a lot of loose tires last restart. Yet again, Janik getting the lone side for the race lead. Thornton having a little bit more of a fight he has to put on this time. The 71 got the side draft and now gets the send on.
Janik takes the top spot back. One stage 2. Crossover out of 4. 29 to the inside. Joshua Thornton will lead this time by. Maybe allowed the 71 to have that run out of the exit down the backstretch. Played it well. And Joshua Thornton does get that lap led. Lap 69. Just over 30 to go here from Auto Club.
Oh, some bobbles there from Tucker. Highest the Sofa News machines ran all night so far. Can he find his way to a podium position? And by the end of the night, we'll have to see. He's been amongst those running around midfield to back of the super speedways. Contact as Trippy got to the side of the 47.
Let's go back here to look at Caleb Hunt because he was trying to work his way back up there. Remember, he was one of those drivers that got the EOL penalty earlier in this race. He's worked his way back up to 11th or 12th spot to the inside of Brandon Willard in the 12. Oh, car in the wall. 63's around, contact, and that's going to bring out a yellow.
Caution flag is out again. Tony Brennan going around. Wilson taking a slide to the grass. Knopsnyder again involved. A few different cars having a scramble there as we're back under yellow yet again. John Ullman just took responsibility on the radio for the incident.
I don't know. I mean, he took responsibility here, but I saw that 63 still a little bit loose there. Maybe they met in the middle on that. Let's get a better angle at this.
Yeah, well, Munsel's running the bottom. Tucker on the outside. I don't know.
I mean, the 63, it looks like he maybe was coming down a little bit at the same time. I know Uman probably feels like he was coming up, but I think there was a meet in the middle here. We'll go on board.
It's onside, then right there.
Yeah, that's a little bit of meeting in the middle. I think the 63 is still a little bit loose, or maybe he hasn't had the wheel quite straightened out. But he's coming down. 34 is coming up. Just contact at that pinch point on the exit. Everybody's kind of drifting towards that wall, and the 63 probably trying to keep down. He did have a car to his outside as well. What happened to the 82 here? Knopfschneider was kind of the aftermath of this.
Yeah, one of the 5-star racing entries. And right there off the 23.
Man, and the 93 hit him after that. It was Isaac Wilson who, I mean, after that strategy that he was playing, we thought maybe would be one of those, oh, there was contact there between the 92 as well. Polak got up into the 16. Watch this dive to the inside. He avoids that, but then another car gets sent into him.
That's significant damage as well to his car. Puts us under caution. We did have a couple more pit stops under this yellow flag. Trippy, Wilson, Shobe, Uman, and a few others elected to come in, top off, or in the case of Uman and Christian Barnes, take fresh tires along with Tony Brennan. So a few drivers making sure they can try and stretch the gas. We're inside the 30 to go mark, as here they go again for more top offs. They're going to try and stretch it.
I like it. I mean, this is right in the window. 25 laps. And the Coke Series is going somewhere around 50. This is, I like it. This is what Auto Club is all about, JP. You can try to stretch that run out. And some of these guys driving different lines. You're up on that high side. You're probably on the throttle a little bit longer. But if you run that bottom, shortest way around the racetrack, you can save some fuel. And you're maybe not as fast, but you don't have to come down pit road. I like this call.
They have to try and stretch it about 27 laps on the tank. And they were clutching, coasting hard in the corners when the last time people were trying to make this work for 26 laps with one of the earlier caution flags in stage 2. Coming up to the green flag here, Janik chose the bottom. Inside for Thornton. Hunt, Rafferty, top 4. Then you have Holston and Moyer. Reggie Kime now in the top 10 with Ward. Wren and McComas, interesting enough, the 70 is up there inside amongst the top 10 or so here. So some new names and new faces joining the conversation late. Green flag is out, back it away. Good restart for Janik this time as he's able to get himself clear for the race lead. All that's well. The battles are on throughout the pack. Hunt tries to run the bottom.
What a recovery here for Caleb Hunt. To see him come up here and get back in the top 5 after that EOL. You know, just a small hiccup. You get a little tight here through 3 and 4. But of the cars that we were talking about earlier that came back down pit road, a little moment there with the 8 of Holston. But the cars that came down pit road, I would look to see them run the bottom. Go back here and look at, you know, Shobe and some of these others. Shobe's on the outside and actually gets a piece of the wall here in the windy 69. That's not what you want. You want to try to keep this car clean and keep it up to speed. You also want to save as much fuel as possible. He's going to have a look to the inside here from, looks like, Christian Barnes.
And not hearing a lot of clutch and coasting from those drivers who just topped off either. So some people might be a bit more confident than compared to earlier on trying to make it on the fuel mileage, or they're not saving, at the least not yet, in case there's another caution. Trippy amongst those trying to find a way through 3 wide.
Shobe up here on the outside. What a move there through the middle. Puts it in a hole just in front of him. Trippy is on the move. Look at him go.
Look at him sail. He's amongst those who had a quick 5-second top off. And he's really trying to push the envelope alongside the 23. 23's got damage 4 wide as Brett Wren goes inside for a moment.
24 lifted out of that of Wren. That was probably a wise move. He was already kind of off the momentum there. Might as well let these guys live to fight another day. It is chaos back here in 15th.
Starting to get intense as Kime just drives it into the wall. Shobe getting defensive as well. Looking back to him. He's got the safety vest on for safety tonight.
Yeah. Got the safety yellow to let these guys know where he is. But the whole block there from the 24 takes the 46 all the way to the bottom of the racetrack. We got to go back on the replay and look at that.
Yeah, some aggressive blocking going on, and sometimes that's kind of what you need to do if you want to maintain track position. Going side by side costs you so much time.
46 had the run. 24 is going to come down, keep taking him down the racetrack. There's just so much of a run there for Chris Medford. He still never got really clear of that. And they got a car in the grass down here. That's Barnes. Going through the victory circle sideways. Loops it around, trying to keep it off the track. Caution flag.
Caution flag is out. Christian Barnes kept his foot on the throttle as he came back up onto the racing surface. The 27 brings us under yellow. And there goes the fuel strategy likely for some.
69 came across his nose, and it looked like the safety colors didn't work. It was Shobe, I think, that came down across the nose of that car.
And possibly some frustration just trying to keep his foot in it. It seemed to look like for Barnes as he went spinning and sliding. Let's take a look once again, listen.
He's just trying to regain control of that car the whole time. After you bounce that wall, it's really you're along for the ride, but he did a good job to not come back up on the surface too early. A lot of the field was able to get past.
That puts us back under caution. How many people are going to come in and top off? This would get people good to go to the end of the race. Not including any green-white checkered situations here. And as we expected, it's a pit party. Much of the field electing to top off and make sure they're good to the checkered here.
This will take you all the way to the end of this race. This is pretty much guaranteed. You see a few cars stay out there in the background. I think that was Joshua Gillen who stayed out. 71 into the stall. This is top off only. Maybe, no, we got right sides going up on some of these cars. If you saved an extra set here, JP, it's going to pay dividends. Or turned around there, it was a 29.
Oh, and that's going right in the middle of traffic at the back. That's not good for Thornton after being up front. He was third entering the pit lane. Thornton with that spin around after taking tires will drop to the back.
I think he was leaving his stall here and he got on the throttle too hard. He did that himself. I thought he got turned by the 24, but this is just too much throttle.
Yeah, this is what happened a lot with when this car first came out with the lack of grip, where it just binds up. In this case, binding up on him at the wrong time, and now he's going to have to hope he can find a way to the front here from 22nd. Field is already coming up towards the choose this time by. Look who's the leader. Joshua Gillen, who is the only driver not to come in for a top-off.
He might have been okay there. It was only 9 laps ago that he came down pit road. We had that other caution. He came in twice. My worry here, JP, is there's some cars on 4 tires behind him. You got Bobby Rafferty. You've got Janik as well. You save the extra set here. The way this race is kind of shook out, I think we're going to have a surprise winner.
And keep in mind, we're going to see some different runners up front because we have Rafferty, we have Janik that took fresh tires. Trippy, he was flying through the field on older tires. He just took a set, Caleb Hunt also just took a set. And it wasn't that big of a fall-off difference, Bradley, on the tires old to new, but it does make a difference at some point here.
Absolutely it does, and I don't know if we have enough laps for anything to level off, so I think from here on out, if this race stays green, you're going to see those 4 tires kind of prevail for these guys on fuel only in the top row can level off.
Pace car is off. Less than 20 laps to go in the Sofa News 200. Green flag is out. Back underway. Great start for Gillen. Not as great of a one for Rafferty. Now he gets up to speed as Holston doesn't get as great of a hold shot. Already. Here we go.
I was going to say Isaac Brock not able to make it back out on the racetrack, so he'll be 28th position, but we still have 27 cars looking for this lead right now. Joshua Gillen is about to have his hands full. 4 tires looking behind him here. The 8 also on fuel only. Then you got 4 fresh ones there with Rafferty. Car in the wall in the background.
Oh, it's 4 wide and they are crashing in the background. Willard and Munsters in the wall. Caution flag is out. Around goes the 79. And we're back under caution. Tony Brennan destroyed as well. And Tony Brennan not seeing much outside of that windshield with the hood. Hard slams as we're under yellow once again. A lot of people went into the grass this caution.
Tony Brennan needs to put the head out the window net there to navigate this thing. And it doesn't help that right front is completely snapped off. No toe link, no suspension, no steering on the right side. You can see he's having to struggle to get this thing back to pit road.
Yeah, I don't think you can see where he's going at all. Now we might be able to see a little bit on the hood starting to give up a little bit here. But Joshua Thornton already just ducked his way back to pit road amongst those in this caution. Brennan looking like he's going as low as possible now. So let's take a look at the replay. A lot of incidents here.
This is what happens when you have so many different strategies on tire sets. You got 2 tires, you got 4 tires. Through 3 and 4. Look at the 4 wide. Gonna be contact just ahead here. The 9 gets loose. Comes down into him. 29, the 12. And this all happens simultaneous. How many times tonight, JP, have we seen multi-car accidents all at the same time? Just unrelated incidents.
Brendan Willard of Munsters who took the hard click. He had to take the fast repair just now. Let's see what happened here with the 12.
Around the racetrack. Ooh.
That's why Thornton had to come in. You see the slam. Willard just took the responsibility for an EOL penalty.
Back this up one more time. There's multiple cars getting loose or tight. Yeah, some guy is riding the wall, bouncing off of it. Willard gets loose on his own and snaps free, but the 79, just in the background here, is a squeeze. 72's involved. And then you have Brennan, and that was the 9, I think, that got loose. Reggie Kime. These guys are good to the end. If you don't have to come down pit road, I wouldn't foresee anybody coming down. But man, these guys are ice skating through 4.
Yeah, a lot of contact and a lot of damage for drivers. Tony Brennan is officially out of the race. Yeah, well, going to the 29 amongst those who enter closed pit. as we're running out of laps here. Looking like we're going to be about 13 to go when we get the restart coming up here, coming up to the choose. Here on VSPEED, we'll take a very quick step aside. The restart coming up here from California. Welcome back to tonight's coverage of the Mystic Racing League and its Cup Series for the Sofa News 200 here from California. We're coming up to the home stretch of this one as the cautions have started to build up and continue to build. Justin Bretzel alongside Bradley Cooper tonight as we get ready for restart. 7 cautions, including the stage cautions. Medford and Janik, your stage winners so far. But who's going to be able to take the win? That's going to be the huge question mark coming up here with Holston in control for this upcoming restart, Bradley.
I mean, Holston's held on. We've had that late caution. It put kind of this field back on a level playing field, but you have Bobby Rafferty on 4 fresh tires. I think here for this green flag with under 20 to go, this is the time. If the 7's going to win, this is the time to get the lead.
Green flag is out, back underway. Good restart for Holston. Rafferty charging, oh, some blocks. Trying to make a cut to the inside to get around. It's Anthony Trippi looking for the top 5.
He's tucked down there on the inside. They're almost 4 wide, 10 on the outside. Gillen gets lost, and oh no, for the 07, Trippi into the inside. Loops it around, keeps it off the wall. Still trying to save that car. No caution.
We stay green as tempers flare on the radio. Running out of time in this race. Oh, that's well. They continue to battle on. Let's take a look at the replay.
Oh, so a little bit of net code. 23 did come down. But I don't think it should have sent that 07 as hard as it did to the inside. There's Rafferty.
Now the race leader. And now, can he hold on? It's been an interesting night for him. It didn't look like he'd be a contender early on in this race. He was struggling in 9th. And now, with the fresher tires, he's got an advantage over the rest of this field with 11 laps to go.
There's still 3 wide going into 1. 10 of Gillen, the 8, the 71 of Janik. Holston still trying to hold on. The older tires, you're seeing the 4 fresh ones start to prevail. Janik, the stage winner in stage 2, has worked his way up to 2nd. He said Bobby Rafferty looked like he was struggling. I don't think he's struggling now. These 4 fresh tires, he feels like Superman working through this field and getting up to the lead. Almost into the wall. Janik does hit the wall, the 10 as well.
Janik's trying to find a way to build a run to get to 2nd. Looking to the outside, 10 laps to go here from California. Bit of a bobble there for Rafferty that time. He gets the big boost to the gears to the corner. Up to 2nd goes Janik.
And they're 3 wide again here for the 2nd spot. The 8 of Holston moves up, but here comes Chris Medford. Drivers at 1, stage 1 and 2, about to go at it for the 2nd position, maybe for the lead here before it's all said and done.
Medford also amongst those on fresh tires. The top 3 hit for tires about 11 laps ago. Side by side for the lead. Here comes the 71. He takes the run to the inside to the point.
And that's just going to be tough there. I mean, if you're Rafferty, you could probably still salvage a top 5 out of this, but you're a little bit off pace, and these guys have the same tire set as you. You just got to hold on. I think he has enough cushion for a top 5, but you're going to have to put up a fight here for this top 3.
Now it's Rafferty's turn to slide. Rafferty parks the bus. Now Mefford alongside Janik. And it's going to be difficult to choose the right lines here in this type of a moment. One wrong lane movement and you're going backwards. A block to the inside this time.
I think he just got moved.
They're nearly moving each other off the corner. Near contact.
71 actually put a block there. Janik comes down on Mefford. Still playing defense on the inside line. Now 3 wide for the top spot. 7 laps to go here, JP. This is what we look for at Auto Club.
Still a lot to go. 5 in the conversation. Janik trying to sidetrap the 7. This time, a lot more harder on the sand. Janik before the roll to the gas. Now Holston on the older rubber trying to see what he can do.
I think right now for Janik, this is the perfect scenario if you can get out to that clean air. 7 of Bobby Rafferty's going to try to make sure that he doesn't get in a pinch here in the corner. They're going to touch doors right all the way out to the exit of 4. 7 gets loose. Here comes Mefford.
Adam Holston kept his foot in it as well to take that race lead into turn 1. The Holston Concrete Machine, the winner from Atlanta, looking to try and become the first 2-time winner of the season. Less than 6 laps to go. Not able to block the top though. Janik retakes it. Caution. Caution flag is out. We're under caution as around is the 34.
Well, this just made it even more exciting here, Justin. We already had 5 lead changes there in that short little stint. And we had a car that had, I think, no tires on that last stop, or maybe just right sides only, with Adam Holston taking the lead there. These guys were banging doors and doing everything they could just to hold the top spot, and it wasn't enough.
Let's take a look at the replay. As, my goodness, 34 was already getting moved around the past couple corners, it looks like.
There are 3 wide in front of him here. Interested to see if somebody checks up that maybe sends the 34 around. There's a move to the bottom of the 24, slides up into the left rear.
Just keeps going, and around he goes, and bam.
Hard
contact, Zach White.
Nowhere to go.
He'd been a ways back on this too. Just trying to keep his line. Ends up breaking the car in the process.
So I want to go on board here with the 24. You can see him, he keeps coming up. He's already in the left rear before they get to the exit. Brett Wren. Let's go on the gyro camera. You can see how much wheel he's putting into this. But the car, this is what the throttle does. He's got this wheel almost 90 degrees, JP.
And we've seen the need to go to 4th gear in the corners. He did not go 4th gear. He was staying in 5th. And that can make you go tight too.
Yep. But this does increase the excitement, especially if you're in the top 5. Janik has not had a chance to relax, and we saw in that second stage where he was kind of, out 5-6 tenths ahead after coming off pit road. Whereas now he has his hands full. This restart, he has to be perfect. He can't miss a gear. He can't get, side by side with somebody on the bottom or the inside or outside. It shaped up there where Holston was able to get a huge run because the 71 was battling with Chris Medford. And out of nowhere, you had Holston just take over the lead.
Natural green-white checker territory here. Again, if we get a caution before the white flag, that would trigger our official green-white checkered situation as well here. So we'll see what the lane choices are. Janik has so far chosen the bottom. And remember, these were the points after Phoenix. Adam Holston came as the points leader overall-wise, and one of those already locked in for the postseason. This is looking like a great points night regardless for the 8 machine with how he's been able to run up front.
Yeah, and you look through this field, a win locks you in. This is the playoff format that you're familiar with in NASCAR. So wins and you're in. You definitely want to get stage wins. You definitely want to get playoff points, but ultimately you want to win these races. And if you're the 8 right now, you've already got yourself into that championship. Now it's about getting top 5s, getting consistent finishes week in and week out, just to maintain that all the way in to our final 10 races.
And remember, these are the races coming up on the schedule. We have Circuit of the Americas, our first road course race of the season next week for the paperclip at Martinsville, Las Vegas, Bristol. And Talladega ends off the month of March as well before things get interesting during the month of April with schedule. Just about ready to go here. Janik chose the top for the first time tonight after choosing the bottom most of the night. Adam Holston also chose the top. Chris Medford, the first to choose the bottom. Rafferty also chose the low side. How is this going to go? The win for the Stolpanews 200. Coming down to this. Green flag is out. 2 laps to go from Fontana.
Natural green-white checkered here, JP. And it's between the 2 stage winners here for the top spot. 4 fresh tires on both these cars. 71 gets a good restart, but will we make it to that white flag?
That's the important thing that's going to impact things up front. The top 2 really pulling away. Medford going for the send. Couldn't make it stick fully though. Janik slides up the track. Coming up to the white flag this time by. They're going 3 wide behind. Some crashes behind. They've already taken the white. Final time around here from Fontana as several cars crash in the grass. Here comes Medford looking alongside. Side by side, down the back straightaway. Rafferty trying to build the run from 3rd.
I think he's got it here. I think Medford can get him. He has to send it.
He is. He's trying to push him up the track. Janik keeps the gas down. They make contact. Janik's got the run. Diving down to the 46 at the line. It's Janik by 16 one-thousandths of a second.
And a car flipping end over end. I think that was Aaron Aspey. But Janik, like you said, 16 one-thousandths across the line. They touched doors out of 4. And the 71 somehow, just enough.
What a finish. A drag race to the end. A bunch of stage winners. And fireworks galore. As that's going to see Janik pick up the race win. So far this season, 4 different winners and 4 races.
All I heard is that this postseason is going to get really interesting. That's all I got from that.
Yeah, so far diverse list of winners on the season. 71 gets to burn it down to the front straightaway here on VSPEED.
Hey, we got post-race interviews with your top 3 and some final race results here, JP. What a phenomenal show here tonight.
What a phenomenal one indeed. We'll talk about those in just a moment here. Take a quick step aside. When we come back, look at the post-race results, look at the interviews, and look see what else is in store for this season. You're watching coverage of the Mystic Racing League, the Sofa News 200 from Auto Club.
Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Go head-to-head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series. In officially licensed cars, engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel. Visit iRacing.com.
Welcome back to tonight's coverage of the Mystic Racing League here as the Sofa News 200 sees an exciting finish here from Auto Club. Let's take a look at your unofficial race results here tonight as Evan Janik comes away with the win and a close one over Chris Mefford. Bobby Rafferty rounds out the top three with Josh Gillen and Adam Holst in the top five. Andrew Shope comes away in sixth. Alex Pollock recovers from incidents to get the seventh. Rayshawn Wingfield drove with damaged nose much of the race in eighth. Isaac Wilson recovered to ninth, and Andrew Allen rounding out your top 10 tonight, Bradley.
Yeah, I was trying to get that information up on the top there with Chris Medford and Evan Janik getting the stage one and stage two. But yeah, it apparently breaks the race results. So going back here to 11th position, Caleb Hunt. Christian Barnes will finish in 12th. 13th goes to Aubrey Lord. Aaron Espy in 14th. Brett Wren in 15th position. Reggie Kime in 16th position. John Ullman will finish 17th with David Moyer in 18th. Then you have Harold Tucker, a driver that was in and out of the top 10 a lot tonight, back to 19th. Joshua Thornton will finish 20th.
21st spot tonight going the way of Brandon Willard. Stephen McComas in 22nd. Knob Snyder. Then Wright Grippy, the top 25. Then laps down, Tony Brennan. Then you have Wallace and Brock amongst the DNF list also in this one. Just a few DNFs overall, 3 total in this race. In an 8 caution, 16 lead change affair here from California. We do have our top 3 standing on by. Evan Janik coming away with the race win tonight is standing on by. Start things off with our discussions here with our top 3. Your race winner joins us in the broadcast booth. Evan, how does it feel to get the win here tonight in a close one?
It's definitely redemption from last night. I lost that way last night, so it feels really good to be on the right side of that one.
That's in reference to Mystic Racing League's B-Car Series, where it was a drag race too, that time with Bobby Rafferty, believe it was. But talk to us about what was going through your mind on the restart, especially knowing you had chosen the bottom most of the time. This time you chose the top.
It's been beating me almost every restart, so I decided to try to take the side that would get me momentum on the exit, and it ended up working just enough.
Overall, how was this race in terms of not just the tire strategy, but also just the excitement factor in the field with all the exciting battles you had here tonight?
I was surprised at how long the tires held up. If we got 10 laps on a run and I had old tires and someone had new tires, that after 10 laps they evened out. So it was more fuel strategy, but um having two tires and having to make 3 pit stops, it adds a lot of fun and curveballs for a lot of these guys.
On that note, anyone who want to give a shout out here to tonight?
Superoilpros.com. Visit them out if you need any AMSOIL products, and everybody watching at home.
Congratulations on your run here tonight, Evan.
Thank you.
Evan Janik coming away with a good run here tonight, comes away with the win. Chris Medford comes away in second. He is with Bradley.
Yeah, I got your second place finisher, stage winner in stage one. Kind of threw guys off, and I think for you, Chris, it looked like that car was playing strategy and maybe long run pace, but with the cautions, you never really got to show that hand here tonight.
Yeah, the car was definitely fast. I can move it from the top to the bottom. I think I had 3 and 4 pretty well locked down. But overall, it was a pretty good race.
Well, speaking of lockdown, you had door lock there with the 71 coming out of turn 4, got to his inside, sent it down to the bottom in 1 and 2, and you were one of the few cars that was able to stick door to door down that backstretch. Did you feel like you had it won here coming out of that final corner?
No, this is my first time racing with Evan. He's a smart racer. I can already tell. With these cars, when you get to somebody's right side, it gets them stupid tight. So he knew what he had to do to kind of keep me, at bay. That if he can keep, at least beside me the slightest bit, that he could get that run off of 4, and that's what he done.
Well, outside of that, you guys put on a stellar performance, a stellar show, a lot going on up here in those final 10 laps amongst you top 5. Chris Medford, anybody you want to shout out while we have you in the booth?
Yeah, I thank you guys for the broadcast. I have to watch it here in a little bit. Shout out to all the admins for putting up with me and the other drivers. It's a first night here, and it's like a pretty fun league so far. Shout out to the 5-Star Racing guys for letting me join their chat for the race. And congrats to Evan on the win.
Congratulations to you as well. Top 3 finish, got second here in what would be the debut, I think, in the Cup Series, correct?
Yep, and I'm going to try to run some more, but I'm not going to promise anything on that one.
Appreciate your time, Chris.
But thank you.
Second place here for Chris Medford and a stage win. I mean, he had fun doing it. I think here tonight, JP, that was a solid race for him, and I think he'll be back. I don't see any reason he wouldn't.
Good run for him tonight. Third spot as well. Bobby Rafferty got better as the race went on here tonight. Bobby, talk to us about that progression of the race, because at first it seemed like you're almost in quicksand in ninth, and then things seemed to change once we got green flag pit stops. How would you describe that progression as you got stronger as the night went on?
Well, it was by design. I didn't take my first set of tires until the end of stage 2. Ran that 60 laps on the same set. So by design, keep the tires underneath me and be able to move forward and then, go like gangbusters at the end.
How tricky was trying to plan out that strategy as a result then as well then to make sure you didn't cook the tires, but also didn't make the wrong choice on tires? Obviously, you came up with the right decision though, because the top 3 all took tires at the end.
It wasn't hard at all, and I mean, it was a team decision between myself, Isaac, Stephen McComas, and Anthony Trippi. You know, we were all in the same strategy. It was just a common sense thing to do when you only had 2 sets of tires for a 100-lap race, and it's not hard to keep the tires on the next gen car. You just have to back up your corners and not overheat them, and drive like a maniac. You know, it's. I hate to say it, it's one of those things. It's so simple. It blows my mind. People can't do it.
Well, on that note, next up is a road course race. Your thoughts on Circuit of the Americas?
I'm looking forward to it. I mean, it'll be nice to be on a road course. Hopefully, you know, in the last 10 laps, I won't have the right front knocked off the car and have something to fight for a win with.
Anyone you want to give a shout out to here tonight?
Yeah, of course. I gotta first off thank Mystic Racing League. You guys, especially. It's nice to see you again after all these years, Justin. Also, got to thank my partners and my team, Ancient World Gaming, Next Level Racing, Swordog, Simrap Market, Ryko Performance, Bruzy Racewear, Glitch Energy, everybody that helps us put this deal together.
Congratulations once again on the run here tonight.
I appreciate it, man. Hopefully I'll get the results from the speed that I have next week.
Bobby Rafferty rounds out the top three. I'd like to thank him and the rest of the top three for taking the time to speak with us during post-race coverage here on VSPEED. Well, Bradley, first things first, your final thoughts on tonight after an exciting finish, where in the end, tires mattered.
Well, I got to cover the first part of this season when we came out for the Clash. That was exciting, but when you come to tracks like this where there's a little bit of strategy, less of a draft and pack style racing, but you still have that multi-group segment, these guys put on a tremendous show. I would not take anything away from this league. Fantastic overall racing, and a car that, you know, probably has the temperament of a 3-year-old at times. You don't get a lot of input. This thing can be maybe a mind of its own at times, and these guys held on to it, put on a fantastic finish, and I'm looking forward to more racing this season with it.
And remember, the next week is going to be an interesting one too. We are at COTA. We get weird in Austin with Circuit of the Americas, February the 28th. Remember, coverage starts around 8 p.m. Eastern time as we go left and right around COTA. And that should be an interesting time to see how the first road course race of the season goes from Texas. On that note, though, it's just about time to say goodbye from California. For our producer tonight and co-announcer Bradley Cooper, I'm Justin Prince saying so long to the rest of your evening. For everyone at VSPEED, it's been an exciting night. We hope to see you next time for the Mystic Racing League from Texas. Congratulations once again to your race winner, Evan Janik, your winner from California.